turn you guys back over here where you can see something. I'm gonna let that set, and I'm gonna pop it. And then let it sit again. There's something right up in there. Oh, did you guys see that? I got him. That was awesome. He came all the way out of the water. Even if I lose him, that was cool. Oh, he got bigger. Wow. This little bait is awesome from Aliexpress. This little bait just does it. No, you don't. Oh, he about shook my hand. Oh my God. Woo! Yes, yes, yes. Not as big as that 5-pounder we caught this morning, but man, just about as fun. He was pulling drag. Let's just cast one out there. Believe it or not, this is the dam, but it's not that. Oh, just like that right there. I did not get a good hook set. That was a nice bass. Oh boy, we are on it. I was just getting ready to say he's gonna jump. Oh my God, you guys hear that drag? Peeling drag. Head shake, peeling drag. See, look at that monster. Oh no, it's not hooked the greatest. Get over here. Another epic battle. Stay up, come here. Got you. You big fat 4-pounder. Woo! We are on it today, boys and girls. Look at that. Look at that, would you? Oh yeah. So I decided perfect time to throw together one of these little BFS topwater videos. Oh, I saw that one coming at it. Come on. That is a better bass. He's trying to take me 6-pound leader. Now he's not a giant, but this is a very, oh my God. Look at him just running. What do I have? That fish just took off. That may be a giant. That is a freaking fighter. Look at him over there. I still got him. I still got him. Let's get out here. Look at that bass. Oh, he's going around the boat. Get back over here. This, my friends, is a battle on this little rod. That sucker put up a fight. This is the best fight I've ever had with a bass. Whew. This is the first time. Well, where'd you guys go? Trying these little Aliexpress baits. Look at that fish. He had me under a stump. Get over here. Oh my God! Woo! Look at that monster on that little bait. First time using it. Oh my goodness. I was just talking about BFS stuff. You wouldn't think. I'm gonna catch my breath. Did you see that fish pulling me? Look at them little hooks. You wouldn't think that you would like stand a chance, but I'm telling you guys right now, man, you get the right rod, reel set up, get that drag. You see I was pulling drag. That is a monster on BFS. I got goosebumps. That is an amazing catch. I don't care who you are, where you live, what. That is how you do it, my friends. Right here, right now at Bass and Bonsai, we did it. And that's why we fish. Woo, this one's a kisser. Nice bass. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bass and Bonsai. This is how you do it. Summer of 2020. Game on. Top water, every kind of water. We're going to do it this year. Coming to a honey hole near you. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I know. What is all the BFS about, right? I'm going to try to explain that in today's video. You just saw me catch a very nice bass on this bait and the Fire Tiger color on this Kuying Teton rod and BFS reel, Aldebaran BFS XG 2016 model. So if you're new, if you know about BFS, this would be nothing new to you. If you're already using BFS to fish with in smaller streams, if you kind of, like me, you powered BFS fish, you know, for bass out in, you know, small lakes and ponds and wherever you can get your boat in the water at, kind of thing. It's nothing new, but for those of you that are new to fishing, new to the term BFS, you know, what is it and what it's about and what do I use, I'm going to try to get that all in one video, all in one take. I'm hoping to, when I hit the end of this video, just to put it all on one video and put it out on YouTube for you guys. I know it's probably not going to work, but I'm on the water. I want to get it done now while it's all fresh in my head. I was just out here this morning, awesome bite, got on top water with a buzz bait and caught some, you know, check out that video, caught some nice fish. Then I noticed there was still some fish hitting along the banks. They didn't want no part of the buzz bait. But that's where BFS kind of comes into play. It's kind of a finesse way. It's not necessarily, you can power BFS fish. But to run down the basics real quick, I'm going to go through in this video, I'm going to explain the rod and reels. I'm getting goosebumps because it feels good actually now. I got the top up, we're in the shade, the wind's blowing. It's real good. I should be out here fishing, but I'm also in that time where it's midday. You guys know what I'm talking about? You kind of bite lulls, and then between 1:32 you'll get into maybe the biggest fish yet. So I'm trying to get this video wrapped up now. It's 11:40 before that time happens, because then we're going to buzz around here, and if I do catch a big one after this, you'll see that too. All right, stop running your yap about other stuff, right? Get to what you guys want to know about. So this is just for the beginners. Bait Finesse System, that's what BFS stands for. It's simply a system to let you throw little bitty baits. The Bait Finesse baits, they've been around forever. I don't care what anybody says. These little bitty ultralight lures, or the hard, soft, little jigs. Now they've advanced, and you know, coming out of Japan is where BFS and all that kind of stuff comes from. And China now makes, you know, copies of other stuff and whatever. Here in the States, it's just whatever you've pretty much used for either crappie fishing or ultralight type fishing on spinning gear, sometimes even with the fly rods. So somewhere way up in the mountains, there were monks working on bonsai trees to decide they want to catch a little fish. Now, I don't know how it actually started. If you want to know the origins of BFS, check it out. It was somewhere in small streams in Japan, I'm pretty sure is where the term came from. But to start way back, if you guys might remember, some, you know, those of you that have been around for a while, if you're new to fishing, you don't know anything about, when I say Daiwa Pixie, you need to go check that out. Google Daiwa Pixie, check out, that's kind of old school, where I think it originated from. Shimano may claim they had something also, but the Alphas and Pixie especially reels had some pretty lightweight, kind of shallow spools. Nowadays standards, they would be comparable to your, basically your MGL or your SV stuff. So if you've got a, I don't even know if that's my MGL. If you've got the MGL Shimano's in any capacity, or an SV Daiwa of any type, that's pretty much kind of what the Pixie was. It was just a way to throw, you know, lightweight, finessey type stuff. And then what the BFS and what I use it for is they evolved. Now, it's necessarily not, some people argue that the rods have different taper and stuff for a casting rod over spinning, but basically it's taking a spinning rod, something lighter weight, an ultra light, maybe even a super ultra light, and sometimes a light if you want to throw a little heavier baits. But the technology and the truly where they started naming it BFS is all in the spool, not even the reel. The reels were already, like I mentioned, the Pixie and several others were out that were, you know, awesome reels, and you can put it in a big bulky reel. The technology that you need, and if you're looking for a BFS reel, it all comes down to that spool, and can be spool bearings, and can be the braking system. But that spool is the key. You need a very shallow, lightweight spool that doesn't hold a ton of line, because the more line you add, the more weight you get. And it's all about, I guess, physics. Something I didn't like studying very hard, but this little bait, when you cast and you generate that force for the cast, how much line and how far it goes is all based basically on the weight and the force of that cast. So when you're throwing something this small, traditionally you didn't even think about using the bait caster because of the braking system and the big spools and how much line they held. you're not going to get very far and you're going to have crazy backlashes, right? Well, technology's advanced to the point now where they've got these spools so lightweight and shallow to where they don't hold a lot of line, and then they've kind of fine-tuned the braking systems over the years that you can cast that little bitty thing out, and just the force of that little bait, say, I'm going to just roughly say 1/16 of an ounce or 2 grams. That's where, and that's about as low as I go. You can go, they got it now, these crazy super lightweight spools, and you can throw like little crappie or trout type baits that are about 1 gram, but that's way, even a true 1/16 ounce, I don't really care for. This is just over, I gotta get a weight on these, but where my BFS really starts is about 1/8 of an ounce, up to say 1/4. Then over 1/4, you can still throw some stuff we'll talk about later on BFS gear, but once you get to 1/4 of an ounce and higher, you can use just a finesse, like the MGL spools and the stuff's out today, you know, the what you would just consider finesse rod and reel bait casting combo. So to throw these little baits though, that technology, like I mentioned, has advanced to the point to where now it's not a problem with, say, especially the 2 gram bait. You can just, you know, there's not much there as far as overall weight. So when you do rear back and cast, see, I didn't even stop it. Yeah, it spooled up a little bit, but it got pretty good distance and there's no issues. So that lets you use all those baits before that were just strictly, oh, I got to get a spinning rod. And you know, some people love spinning rods, and if you do, BFS probably isn't for you. If you know, if you're out frog fishing with the spinning rod and reel, you probably don't even need to be watching this video. But if you kind of want to change and go all bait casting, or you know, just add a bait casting BFS combo to your arsenal to throw real little lightweight baits, you need to know about BFS and what all is out there. Now, I'm not going to tell you everything that's out there. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. Now, what do I recommend? I don't recommend any of the higher rod and reel combos for BFS if you don't know for sure. It's kind of like back in RC days. I raced RC cars, and you get a guy come in like, what's the best thing you got? Well, the best thing we got may not be the best thing for you. The best rod and reel combo is what, first of all, you can afford without going, man, I'd hate to spend that much money. So what I recommend everybody is not this reel, it's this rod, the Kuying Teton 632 UL. 6'3", 2-piece ultralight. This thing is just an awesome rod for $50–55 off Aliexpress. I've had it a few years now, no issues whatsoever. Reels, honestly, I didn't bring it, it's at the house, because I love this reel, but this is a very expensive reel. There's one that is very close to this, about $300 cheaper, only 50 bucks, and that is the PW100. It's amazing. If you've never fished one of these, you'll fish it and be like, this is an awesome reel. If you fish this and you fish it, you'll be like, yeah, it's good, but it's not Aldebaran BFS XG good. But it's close. And that's just all stock. This is stock, that reel is stock. So PW100, if you remember any of my other videos and you're like, wait a minute, Charlie, you talked about the Habo Steed. The Habo Steed will probably outlast and last maybe close to as long as this reel. But the Habo Steed is not as capable and as lightweight as this reel. The PW100 is very close like that, but it is a carbon chassis or frame, whatever you want to call it. It will not last as long as your aluminum frame reels or magnesium frame reels. It's just not going to happen. They're going to distress and stuff, but there's not a ton of stress on BFS gear. All right, so you know what rod reel combo to go if you are on the cheap, right? You want to keep the price down. Now, what do I recommend for high end? I really don't have a high end rod that I recommend. I hear big talk about the Shimano X Prides, and then you go way on up from there, but you're starting out about 200 bucks or more. What I'll probably end up getting is getting me an X Pride, because I like ones that are balanced. But I'm kind of a reel snob. I'm not a huge rod snob, a little bit, not much. You'll see me with NRXs. But the reels, man, it's all about the way a reel feels. And when they're smooth and small and lightweight, and you can fish them all day, no issues. I still think this right here, that's the BFS, got it upside down, XG 2016 model, is the best out of the box. It's got, and it's another thing I think you really want, if you saw some of the battles I've taken with this and this pull and drag, that clicker, just kind of like on a spinning reel, that's the only good thing about spinning reel. They got their own little clicking mechanism. That's why this one out of the box is the best to me. I had the LTX BF8 and the ALC BF7. Awesome reels. The ALC has the clicker, but it's an aluminum frame. This is magnesium, so it's a little heavier. Actually outcasts this reel in my hands. The ALC BF7 is cheaper and will outcast this reel. But there's just something about the overall feel and ease of casting I just like this reel better, so that's why I still have it, and I got rid of the ALC. The Daiwa end, the Alpha's Air, is a good choice. There's several. Anything, also, I guess I should mention that. Shimano, to say right on, BFS. The Daiwas are their Air. So if you're looking up Daiwa Air, those reels are intended for BFS. They should have a KTF or a BFS spool in them. They make an Airstream Custom, I think. Airstream Custom. I don't know. They make a green one now, and the newest Alphas is out. It's a T-Wing system Alphas, the first one ever. The old Alphas were basically a Pixie, but I hear good things about that one too. It's got a lot smaller diameter spool. So there's a lot of high-end options, but I still recommend this one. The Alphas, and one thing it doesn't have, if you want to know about the new Alphas, it doesn't have the clicky drag. The LTX BF8, which is an awesome reel, which is light as this one, I like it probably as good if it would have had this. I put one in it, but it didn't come with that, and it was expensive to get it to what this one already is right out of the box. Then I guess if you want the fancy version, you know, the Shimano Conquest comes in a BFS XG. A cheaper one from this Aldebaran would be the Scorpion, comes in a BFS. And is that it? Am I forgetting any? And just now, and I'm gonna throw it out there because I just saw a thing on it. Kuying has a BFS reel out now, but Aliexpress, there's several of them. I mean, you guys, they're as cheap as 25 to 30 bucks. I had one I hated. I put a video out about the worst reel ever. I gave it to Charles. It's called the Mr. Charles T-Rex. I gave it to Charles. He loves it. He likes it. He's using it. I'm like, I was just about ready to throw it in the trash, but I gave it to him. Now he's hooked on BFS, by the way. So anyway, let's get to it. You know, basically the concept, it's all about that shallow spool. You can also, I don't have any of the cheaper reels, and I guess I should talk about this one because for some reason this reel gets me crazy views on videos. The Phantom, it's basically a GH100, but a colorful fancy version. Awesome filling reel. I love everything about this reel, except there is a gap. And it's going to be hard to show you here. I'm going to actually just take the reel off and you may not be able to make it out, but in between the spool and the frame itself, there's a gap there that these other reels, even the cheap ones and whatever, don't have. And it's not 100% that your line's going to get in there, but it can. And it happened to me the first time out using it, and I noticed it was there. So that's why I don't recommend that reel. But as far as looks, this thing looks cool. Cast worked. I got 15-pound braid on it, and it still cast an 1/8 ounce crappie jig. Awesome. But the Phantom is the same reel as a GH100. I don't know. I couldn't verify that a GH100 because it does have a different color spool. Maybe the gap's not the same. I have no idea, and I don't know if I want to waste the money to get one and find out it's just like that. But that's kind of my backup one, and I use it. But there's all kinds of them. But there's also, through Aliexpress, is the cheapest, probably best way to do it. There's a Roro, there's a Ray Studio, DIY, shallow spool, Google that. There's several options to put in a Black Max, a few different actual Abu Garcia. Well, they got some for Abu Garcia too, but then Lew's, some of the Lew's are about the same as Abu Garcia's. The Black Max, that spool will fit in a Lew's. I can't remember the name of it. Charles has it, he's got it in it. But it's one of the lower end Lew's. But they make them for the Daiwa Tatula. They make shallow spools for, I think, all the series. I think you can get it for the regular Tatula, the SV, and so on and so forth. But that's the key in BFS fishing. If you want to get it set up, just kind of budget, know where your money is. And if you got any, in this video, ask me on a certain price range, I guess I could throw a few out there, like say, which is no-brainer. If you just want to get one to try out, and I still recommend the PW100 and the Kuying Teton 632 UL. If you know you're going to throw a little tad heavier baits, then the 662 or 1, they do make a 1-piece in that and a 2-piece, but the 6.6 is a light version, and it will throw, and that's what this one is, it will throw a little bit heavier baits easier, but it also can still get down and throw it like it can throw a 16th ounce crappie jig, but it's definitely easier on the 632. So kind of have an idea of what size bait you want to go, and hopefully this video will help you decide that, what size bait you want to go, because I recommend, I'm out here bass fishing, I don't go lighter than an 1/8 ounce. I'll throw a 16th occasionally, maybe on a crappie jig, which is actually probably a little heavier. It's like 2.5 grams, not quite 3 maybe. But I don't really suggest going too light, because then it's just all about, oh, you can say you caught a fish on, you know, a 16th ounce hard bait, because an 1/8 ounce hard bait is not really any difference in size. They'll catch them, trust me. As you saw the big one, and you'll see.